What is up, Maple Boomers? Zach here, coming at you with a quick video with my thoughts on the Inkwell note. I know everybody's kind of doing these videos now, but I promise I have a couple things that I have been thinking about that a lot of other people aren't really suggesting. So if you stick around, you might learn something. Either way, I appreciate it if you guys could subscribe. We're close to 500 subs. We're pretty close, actually. And let's get right into it. Honestly, it's not going to be a whole lot that you haven't heard to start with that other people haven't already covered. But let's just pull up the note and we'll get into it. So actually, before we even get into that, real quick, it is the miracle time for shoes. So good luck on that. Hope you guys have some gains today. That's really all that today is. It's just Saturday, January 30th for me, and the grind continues. But yeah, here we go. Pull up the note. So, oops. Okay, so there's just a couple things I want to highlight. I got some notes here. Like I said, I do have some things that I want to suggest that I really think I haven't really heard anybody else suggesting, because I think a lot of people aren't thinking bigger picture. And I'll explain what that means later on. Now, the note itself, the what is it? The thank you rewards. They're great. Like, it's whatever. I'm not that upset about anything really. I'm a little disappointed in the vagueness of a lot of the things they're saying here. But like, I come from I have a pretty lengthy background in like a corporate environment. I understand. Hold on, let me close Discord so you guys don't get bothered. I understand when people got to say things just to like placate and make promises without actually making promises. Kind of give hope for that stuff, but you got to give more than what they give us here, I think, really. So I'm not going to go through. I'm just going to go to the sections that I think I can talk a little bit about. I'm sure you guys have all read this already. Now, I wanted to talk a minute about the service stability, what they said here. The only reason I think so, they talk about like how they had they looked at winter 2024 and they were like not satisfied with like the environment they gave us, and there was some disruptions and stuff. And then they talked about the interactive world merge. The reason I think that they even brought all this up and they highlighted this is, one, they're just kind of they're trying to glaze themselves a little bit and just be like, hey, this is a big undertaking. We think we did well with it. But I think, low key, I'm calling it now, I think they're only making a big deal about this because they're going to do another world merge in the future. Like, I think they're going to merge Kronos and Hyperion. Hyperion's pretty dead, so I think they're going to just merge them together. And I think that they're going to keep talking about the world merge and how good of a success it was, because they're going to do that in the future. I don't know if that'll be this year or next year, but that's my speculation there. Now, the public test server, this is a big deal. I know when they first mentioned this is mentioned at MapleCon, that people have been wanting this for a long time, that they're actually going to make it. But the reason, so they say second quarter 2026, which is fine. They don't got to rush with that. But I think they're going to take extra care with this because, and this ties into some of my suggestions, giving people a public test server, it can be a dangerous thing for reputational harm to a company. What I mean by that is, if you give people enough access, and like if they just create the public test server, and I don't know exactly how they approach it in KMS. Whether it's a one-to-one copy of the game, but if you give them like a one-to-one copy of what would potentially be going live or a previous version of the game, people can go in, depending on their level of access and the amount of time the servers are open, they can test things at length, and they can verify or get better data on like rates of star forcing or like acquisition rates of certain boss items, like depending if they can just go in and rerun bosses. So I think that they're taking their time with that because they are aware that a lot of people speculate that the rates that they provide aren't like the rates that they say. Like, for example, here, and we'll come back to this as well. So, for example, the rates that they're saying on, here we go, the Star Force rates. This says success 15%, failure is 76%, destroy 8%. A lot of people speculate these rates are not true. Like what they are saying here. And I'm a pretty firm believer that they are not. Now, given enough time in a test server, somebody could probably do tens of thousands of tests on this if they get, depending on how much, again, depending if they give them, like, you can just create copies of items, I don't think that they're going to do that, but they got to be careful with what they're doing, because there's a chance of reputational harm with that. So I think that that's why they're taking their time with it. It's a good system for players as a whole, but they're obviously not rushing it because they don't have a great reputation for being honest with their rates, especially with the recent Arcane and Abso boxes, the Star Spec boxes. Like, they say they have a bad reputation of saying things are a certain way, and then in reality those rates are not what they are, and they take a long time to correct it when they're caught out. Need I remind you guys of the patent on dynamic rates? Anyway, so that's all I'll say on that. They're going to take their time with the public test server. If anything, they're going to make everything wildly different than the real server in terms of rates. Now, efforts to create a fair gaming environment. I just want to show you guys, like, thanks, Android. They've really got to work on this specifically. There are hella botters out there. There is so many botters. Like, I swear, hang on, this might be a little loud. I swear to you guys, I report every single day 3 to 5 different people while I'm training. I mean, depending on the day, depending on the time of day I'm grinding. I'm not saying this person's a botter, but I mean, we'll watch him for a moment. I'm not calling him a botter. I'm just saying, though, I report legitimately 3 to 5 people a day. I report for botting, because they are clearly botting. It's not unfounded, because I spend a lot of time in these training maps. I'm watching them. Like, they have their little patterns. They always end up in the same spot. Is this guy going to use his anchor? I mean, I'm just saying, that guy ended up in the same spot. He used the rope lift. Rope lift is a pretty common tell that people are botting. I'm not saying he's botting, though. But they really got to do better. There are so many botters in this game. So many. Especially in Chronos, my main, like where my main is at. My god, there's so many botters. They're not doing it quick enough about that. Like, I understand it's gonna, you know, if they start banning people who are botting more frequently, it's gonna affect their bottom line. But they can't be talking about this gameplay experience and how they're trying to, you know, work on getting people a fair gaming fair gaming experience when they just, like, they never take any action against botters. It takes so long for anything to happen. That's pretty frustrating for me. So that's all I'm really gonna say about that. This is BS. Like, they need to be more. They don't do anything with the reports. I don't think anything actually happens. All right, now to where my big brain meat and potatoes, where I think that a lot of people have not been thinking bigger picture with changes that they should be requesting from the development team, and how they can approach GMS's roadmap of, you know, going west, as they said, going a different direction as all the other servers. Now, this basically just talks about how they understand people are upset about the star forcing and how it can be frustrating if you go so long without any upgrades. So they're like, okay, we're going to give you guys the 30% boom reduction and 30% star force more frequently, but it's not going to come until June. That's when the frequency is going to increase. That's where a lot of people are disappointed. Which is, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. But my propositions on things people need to start thinking about and start, like, because we have, like, basically we have 5 months where nothing's really going to be happening. Like, okay, that's a big statement to make, where Star Force changes won't be happening. We should be starting to pressure them and point out that in order for GMS to really flourish as a region and as a server, we need to be making changes that are unique to us, that fit us as a server. Now, what I mean by that is, first of all, I want to say they did a great job with the pitch pity system. Like, that's a great example of that, where they made a great unique change that's unique to us. It helps us get more gear, as well as the Mystic Frontier. This is pretty cool too, and you can get some really cool stuff out of this. Granted, it is a little bit pay to win. That's besides the point. We need to go further, though. We need to go further beyond with these changes. So what I mean by that, again, going back to my point, keep this in mind. This is where I'm coming with this. The place I'm coming from. These rates, I'm not conspiracy theorist. These are all but proven. Like, these are not true. Like, this is not actually the rates that you're getting when you're star forcing. If they were, this is MapleStory's calculator. This is, so for example, this is what it should be by going off of the rates it's saying. So again, here you go. Going from 21 to 22, if I wanted to get a 22 star item level, this is actually, we'll go 160 or 150? Whatever. We'll go level 200 item. On star catching and safeguarding enabled, we'll say 0 stars. Target's going to try to get 22. GMS with the 30% boom reduction, it should only take 2 booms to get there on event. This again, the amount of clips and the amount of people I've seen every single time they get an item from past 18 stars after this recent protection change, booming the first time they go from 18 to 19. I cannot believe that these rates are what they say. It should be should be like what 0 to 21. My God, the rates are bad. The rates are really bad. And what people are suggesting, again, I don't believe that these are what they actually are. What people are like saying is we need more frequent events so we get the chance to do this more frequently. We need cheaper trace restoration so that we can get more copies of our trace items. I don't even have any traces. The trace cost needs to be cheaper. We need to get more copies of spares. We need spares. We need spares. I think they're approaching it wrong. I think what we should do, or what we need to be suggesting, and it's an easy slam dunk for them to do this because they've already introduced the systems that could enable this. They just need to adjust some rates here. They need to make it so that gear just blows up less across the board. People need to stop pushing and saying we need way more pitch items. We need way more copies of things that drop. If you only need like 1 or 2 copies of an item, again with the calculator, if they truly only let us get the rates to a point where we truly only need 1 or 2 copies of an item to get it to 22, which for most people that's where you'll stop forever, then everything else falls in place. Make it so that the boom reduction event is basically a permanent, like the rates on boom reduction is like the permanent baseline, and it actually reflects that accurately. Because again, this is not actually what this is. This is probably high. I'd have to run tests on this and stuff. Like after they made so you can protect up to 18 stars, they made the boom chance go up like crazy. Specifically from 18 to 19 and higher. Like I swear to you guys, it's not actually what they say, and I refuse to believe the rates for anything anymore, just because of the reputation now that they have. That they're not really. It takes them way too long to catch these things, and it takes way too long for them to change a system like that. Now, along with that, again, just a flat boom reduction. We really just need 1 or 2 copies of AM to get it to 22. In addition to that, they should make it so that it costs less crystals, pitched whisper crystals, to get a pitched item. I mean, the rates are not terrible right now, but it's like a couple months before you can get a single pitched item. Where if we need currently to get to like 25 stars or whatever, again, here you go, 25 stars, 34 items. Are you kidding me? I mean, that is like a pretty lofty goal, but that's just a very high amount of items to need. What realistically, like, view it this way: they recently, by making it so you can protect items from up to 18 stars. Do I have anything? Here you go. By enabling this safeguard, they raised the floor, the base floor that most people can get their items at. Before, it used to be 17 stars when you would get 5, 10, 15. Now it's up to 18 basically for free. Not for free, but because you can safeguard it, you don't blow it up. By doing that, they made it so that the floor is now 18 stars for all items. Which is why they made the boom rate so high going from 18 to 19. It just makes sense. Like that's why they do it. They want everybody to be at about 18. And then the people who get to 20, 22, etc., that's like, less common for people to hit. But 22 is like They obviously made it so we can go past 22 now, like at a reasonable rate. 25 is like still very unfeasible. They don't want people to have 25 star items, like the large majority of people. That's why the rates are like that. So until maybe a year from now, I'm kind of just rambling at this point. They slowly over time, they'll keep raising that floor. Like maybe they'll allow protection up to 20 stars, but like next year or something. That's them kind of illustrating that they want people. That's the level of power that they want to give people, and kind of make it accessible. Anything outside of that is just gambling, and it's against their rates. The dealer is at the advantage here, which is Nexon in this case. So, reducing, I would say they probably should reduce the cost for pitch items by like, I would say 30% reduction for redeeming pitch whisper crystals. Because again, in my mind, you get 2 copies of a pitch item, and you're guaranteed a 22 star. That's the state of the game I would love to see us reach at one point. You might be thinking like that's way too many items for people to get, like people who play a long term. Like if you get like, you're just gonna have so many pitches and all that stuff. I would then also suggest people start. Yeah, I mean, I don't have like a visual or anything on that, but a way to solve that problem would be, I think, a great end game state of the game, or a great end goal for this game to reach is, I envision you have like an entire login page here. Here, let me show you real quick. Oh, that's gonna be loud. Here you go. I envision a state of the game where you're able to simultaneously gear and boss on this many characters. It's like not I mean, time-wise that would be a lot in a week, but you have the choice. I could be like, okay, I want to go run some bosses with my friends this week, like some, late game bosses, and I just have like 12 classes to choose from that I just feel like playing. That's what I envision the game they want to work towards at the end game, because all of the amount of time and everything and all these stats, all the money it takes to get these items is for one character. Like the amount of time it would take to get 34 pitch items for one character, it's just, that's years. So even doing 2 characters is like crazy for most people to think about gearing 2 characters for the end game. So again, giving us faster pitch items, making it so that it's only actually 2 items, 1 or 2 pitched items to hit 22, make that the real rates. And then again, when moving towards that end game, that end goal in mind, where you can have a ton of characters geared out slowly, passively, you make it so that you can disassemble pitch items. Here, I'll just show you. This is my brainchild of a system that they could work towards. You extract or fuse pitch items. Do I have any pitch items? Here you go. And when you extract this, it would give you like a shard. And similar to like a Golux coin redemption or something, there's just like an NPC that like you could trade like 20 shards of any pitch items for something like the Chaos Pitch accessory box. So you can just get a chance at a random one. So it's like a pitch, reforging almost. If they're going to give us more pitch items, which again I think is the state of the game we need to work towards, and again with the rates being actually what they should be, give us a way to then even trade these boxes to other characters, so you can fund pitch items to other characters passively, working towards that end goal of having like a full page of characters that you can boss with. That's the instead of everybody getting so harped up on, oh, we need more frequent Star Force events, we need the current stuff that they have in the game to be changed to be more frequent and a little bit cheaper. Just make the rates what they should be. I think is where we should be focusing on, because they really aren't what they should be on paper, what they illustrate. That's my suggestions, and I know it's like a pretty lofty one at that, but I think we really can hold Nexon accountable, especially once we get the public test server. Like again, depending on that, they're gonna hold that close to their chest and like the rates in that, because I really think that they can give players enough time in there. People are gonna figure out like exactly what the rates are when they have like fun money and they have unlimited money. They'll figure some stuff out that the Nexon probably doesn't want them to figure out. But we'll obviously have to take all that with a grain of salt. I know I just rambled on for a long time, but really my biggest thing is a lot of the people get caught up that we need to get more spares. We need to get like all this stuff. Just make it so that we don't need more spares. Just make it so that stuff blows up less. Then we don't need more spares. Then we don't need to get all this other stuff. We don't need to like fully revamp, the Whisper Crystal system. That solves a lot of the problems if you just truly make the rates what they should be. All right, back. I spent a long time on that. The last thing I'll say is on-site events. I think they highlighted this. I'm not a hater. I'm not like a doomer. I'm not a hater of Inkwell. I went to MapleCon, this past MapleCon. Here's my proof. It's me with Dr. Lim and Inkwell. I've been there. I plan to maybe go again in the future. I would love to go again in the future. So I'm not a hater by any means, and I want them to keep being successful, keep doing, in-person events. We got the Classic World on-site test, which I have some friends who are actually going to do that. And there's a lot of hype around the Classic World. They got a big opportunity here. They need to do well with this for them to not have the entire internet hate them, because I see on all their social media posts every single comment before the last month or two. For the past year and a half, it's been when's Classic Worlds, when's Classic World, when's Classic World. Now it's still when's Classic World, but they're getting less mad at them. They're just hyped for it. So they better do this right. They got a lot riding on it. But yeah, I mean this is pretty vague too. All this, we're making system preparations so that everybody can enjoy whatever, Mac OS, whatever, multi-language. I'm sure there's like 100 people out there who are super happy about this. New collabs. We really, I really was expecting them to announce Free Ren, One Punch Man. I don't know. I was expecting more on that. Maybe I don't know. Oh well. So that's pretty much the note. That's my thoughts on it. I rambled a lot about my suggestions. Again, I think we need to start thinking more cleverly about what to suggest to them, because asking them to change things to add new systems and stuff like that, that's more far-fetched than just keeping them accountable for the systems that are in the game more accurately being what they should be. We can keep bringing up the Star Spec boxes, the Arcane boxes, the APSO boxes. Their rates are not, for everything, are not what they should be. They need to revisit that. That's my thoughts on the note. Overall, the game's great. The game's fun. I'm loving this. Challenger World has been the best event I've ever participated in. Specifically, the Twenteena event. I'm gonna miss this event so much, man. I think it's this combined with this co-op Evernia and Bloom event is slightly breaking my brain. It's really, I'm grinding a lot more than I ever have, and I don't dislike grinding, but this is a very unique combination of events by doing the Twenteena capping and this having to do 50k mobs a day, that I'm worried it's gonna make me grind a lot more in general, which I only have 3 more days before I cap. I guess technically, yeah, 3. So we'll see. But this has been rough. The amount of mobs I've had to kill with the amount I've had to grind in general with Twenteena. Granted, Twenteena has been so rewarding, and I haven't really minded, because you can just passively do it. But this Evernia and Bloom has been kind of rough, honestly. So I'm gonna miss Twenteena a lot. But they can do great events. We got to give them credit. They do a great job with a lot of what they've done this past year. Just a little disappointed in some of the timelines that they said. You guys have seen all the other Big Dogs videos. They said it better than I have. I'm just thinking creatively about ways that we can keep them accountable and, move towards a better MapleStory in the future. I think I've talked enough. I hope you guys learned a little bit about where my mind's kind of thinking of, instead of just complaining about the same things over and over, we really need, the bare minimum is we need more frequent Star Force reduction boom events. Yeah, we do need that, but also the boom reduction should actually be what they should be all the time. We shouldn't need the event for boom rates to feel like what they should be naturally. You know what I mean? We should have the 30% off. That should be permanent. And then the reduction, the events themselves, keep them as infrequent as you'd like. Make it actually a crazy reduction in the boom rates. You're guaranteed a 22 on the event. That's the kind of stuff we need to move towards. Because again, looking at Math Pro, this is what it should be. Median. 2.3, median, Come on. This is what we should be at. That's it. It's almost 25 minutes of rambling. I'm gonna miss Twenteena. This event's been so good, and I'm almost 285 because of it. But aside from that, I don't really got much else. I haven't been. I've been pretty busy outside of Maple the past couple weeks, so I haven't been really making as many videos. I haven't even done my normal Saren yet, but I had to talk about the Inkwell note and my ideas. I had to just speak them out into existence. But if you guys have any other suggestions on the things I brought up, if you can think of a different spin on it, feel free to put it in the comments. Don't doom too much, man. The people who are complaining the most are the people who probably need to touch grass the most. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, we're all going to keep playing the game. These people aren't going to. The people who are complaining the most are not leaving the game. The people who are going to quit the game, they're going to quit the game for one reason or another. Let's just enjoy the time we have here, you know? Let's enjoy the events we're currently in. And let's keep them accountable. Keep Nexon accountable. Keep complaining for things that are actually valid and legitimate. But that's all I've got. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.